This is more 100-year-old hardwood forest, or at least it was, that's been managed by Forestry and S. There's some herbaceous growth in here, maple saplings, and I see sarsaparilla, wild carrot, bracken. I could go on and on. Anyway, it's here because, at least this year, because this piece of ground has not been sprayed with glyphosate. If they spray this, to air quotes here, knock it back, as Margaret Miller puts it, this will all die, and then it'll all have to start all over again. But because it's been set back catastrophically, it won't be able to compete with conifers. If conifers are planted through here, conifers will take over this patch. Right now, it's good open ground habitat for wildlife because it has not been sprayed. There's food in here, so there's trails. There's a trail right there. There's a deer trail right there. There's another set of bear droppings right over there. If they spray glyphosate in here and turn this into an evergreen plantation, there will be nothing coming through here because there won't be anything to eat. There will be conifers, there'll be sphagnum moss, and there'll be a few odd mushrooms which have some nutritional value but not caloric value, so the animals will not be looking for them. Should do some ring counts on some of these stumps. Note all the standing trees. When they first cut this, actually I think it's about 4 years ago when I first noticed this cut and decided to come up and explore it. When they first cut this, these trees were still struggling for life. But when they took down the surrounding trees, all these trees died, and they died fairly quickly. And that's because the forest is a mutually supportive organism. All the trees, all the plants, they form a whole ecology, and they support one another. They protect one another from wind, they share nutrients, they protect one another from disease, they protect one another from insect pests and other types of predation. And when you take down the supporting plants, well, every tree is not an island unto itself. Like that tree over there, it's dying, and the one beside it I can see is on its way to dying. They're dying. You can't just cut back the forest and expect things to grow. The trees are not an island to themselves. And if you dump glyphosate on this land, and the glyphosate goes into the soil and introduces high amounts of phosphate into the soil as it breaks down, and the glyphosate itself gets into the soil flora, who knows what it'll do? It will destroy flora literally by the trillions. The soil flora and the soil fungi, which are often no more than microscopic, are absolutely essential to the survival of the trees. Destroy them and the forest has no chance whatsoever of growing back as a balanced form of ecology. All right, here's the brook I was mentioning on the Stop Spraying Glyphosate and the Stop Spraying Nova Scotia boards and the Clean Up the Pictou County Mill groups just recently. I have to film it from this angle right here. Hopefully the camera can catch the perspective. I'm about 20 meters from the brook, and then it rises up the hillock on the other side. And this land was cut about 20 years ago. I know because this is my land. And this land was cut about 20 years ago. I bought this place about 10 years ago, and the local folk have informed me of the history. And I want you to take a look down there. This brook has been cut right up to the very edge. What you see, the growth that's down there, these are all young trees that are between 5 and 20 years old, just now growing back. This brook was cut right through with no consideration whatsoever that there was a water course down there. And that was 20 years ago, when ostensibly Nova Scotia had tougher rules. But apparently, as Jeff Bishop of Forestry and S recently explained to me, if it's on agricultural land, there's no rules whatsoever.